Hey guys, welcome back. So today I have the other half of my birthday haul, which was a $100 at Jackson's. Okay, so let's open up this little box here because I think this has most of the exciting stuff in it. So for this haul, I mostly bought watercolors because I have a couple of basic sets of watercolors and I really wanted to get some more specific colors. So yeah, let's have a look inside and see what I got. Look at all that paint. It's so beautiful. Okay, so the first one is a pass color from Shinhan. So this one is supposed to be kind of a cross between a gouache and a watercolor. So I just got one of these guys to see how I liked it. It's a super big tube. It's like 20 mils. And shell pink, I don't have any colors like that. So I just thought that would be a good one to try out. There's some Roman Smalls paints here. I think I got 4. Yeah, so I got a, where's the labels on these guys? On the back, okay. So I got a Paynes Grey, a English Red Deep, a Mineral Violet, and the Perisdes Grey, or the Unpronounceable Grey. I think Otokano says that. That's a hard one. I don't know how to say it. Hopefully that's slightly correct. Okay, so they're the Roman Smalls, and then I splurged and got some Schminke colors that I've been eyeing for a long time. I was really interested in their Viridian. It looks beautiful when swatched out, so I thought I'd get a mini tube of that. I got the Perylene Green, which is a gorgeous deep green color, and I got the Quinacridone Gold hue. Yeah, they're so teeny tiny, they're beautiful. Okay, what else we got? We've got a Winsor Newton Cotman Indian Red and a Caput Mortuum Violet from the Professional series, which is it looked like such a beautiful color. You know, actually, I thought that I had got a Caput Mortuum in the Roman Smalls, but maybe I didn't get it in the end. Yeah, so I think maybe that's what I got. And then the last ones we have here from White Nights. So let's see, where's the numbers here? So I got a Green Earth, a Marengo, which I think is kind of like a grayish blue. I think on the swatches it looked a little lighter than this gray. So that'll be interesting to see what that actually looks like. I got a Dunes, which I think is sort of like a buff titanium with a little more yellow in it. We got a crazy mint green, which just looks delicious. So I'll see what that looks like. The Azure blue looked really pretty. And I think this one's the Perylene Violet, which also looked beautiful. So I think just looking at this palette, they kind of look beautiful together already. So got to swatch those out and see what they look like. And then there's one last thing in this box. What could this be? Oh, I think these are the Caran d'Ache Neocolor. Yes. So I got 2 Neocolors. I got the Salmon Rose and the Turquoise Blue. So look at all those yummy paints. So we'll swatch those out in a second and see what they all look like. Okay, so now we have these lovely wrapped items. Okay, so these guys are actually pigment powders. So I actually have made a couple of paints myself using some metallic mica, and I was really interested in mixing a couple of just other flat pigments and then maybe mixing some paints into those. So I got a Phthalo Blue, a Mars Red Deep, a Titanium White Rutile, and a Mars Black. And what I kind of wanted to do is mix up just a little bit of this and then mix it with some other colors to see whether I can sort of get a dark granulating color, because the Mars Black I think is quite granulating. So I was just interested in mixing up a few different combinations and seeing what we can get. I don't think there's much in there. I think there's maybe, yeah, 10 grams, 25, 25, and 100. So it's not going to make much paint, but I just kind of wanted to play around with it. I've been having fun mixing up some paints and mixing tube colors together to make other paints. So I thought just making some of my own little colors would be a fun and interesting thing to do. So that's those guys. Okay, so next we've got some tools and brushes. So let's take a look at these first. So this was in the clearance section. These are just some rubber-ended tools here for adding texture, and I was thinking maybe for applying masking fluid. So this is just a set of 3, and they all have different, they're double-ended, double-ended with different sort of shaped ends here. So just a variety of different shapes so that you can make marks, you know, in paint, or apply masking fluid or thicker coats. Like this would kind of work like a little spatula. Yeah, so they just took my fancy. I think they could also be used for sort of polymer work, like clay work or something. So yeah, I think they're under $2 for the whole set of 3. They didn't add much to the shipping costs, so I thought it would be fun to play with those. And then we have a couple of brushes. So I got I think this is a Royal Talons brush. I think this was only $1 or so. I just wanted to try this brand out and see how it went and what it was like. We have a Handover series, which also I think was under a couple of dollars. I just wanted to try this brand out too before investing in a bunch of different brushes. So this is just a size 8. I think, actually, sorry, this one was a size 10. And then this guy is a Jackson's Quill, which is a 10/0, which just looked beautiful. And I think this was maybe around $6 or something. But I just really wanted to try a quill brush. I don't have any of these, and people have been sort of raving about it in other reviews, and I thought I would give it a go. And then we also have a couple of pencils. So these are 2 water-soluble pencils. One is a Caran d'Ache in Granite Rose, which just looked like such a beautiful color. And I don't really have anything like that. So I thought I would see how these worked and see if I like them to invest in more different ones, different colors. And then this one is interesting. This is an Aquarelle Stabilo, and it can write on paper, glass, plastic, and metal. So it's sort of this multi-purpose, multi-surface, water-soluble. I think it might be graphite. I'm not quite sure, but it just fascinated me. So I thought, oh look, you can see it comes off quite easily. It's a very soft, dark color. So yeah, I'm excited to try that out and see. Maybe you can sketch in it, and then it'll sort of bleed into the design. I'm not sure. So that just seemed like a fun thing to try. Yeah, so that does it for the unboxing of all of these goodies from Jackson's. I guess we'll move on to the fun swatching part. Okay, so this is the one swatch of the Shihan Pass colors that I bought. This is the shell pink. Yeah, so this is the hybrid watercolor gouache paint. and it was really nice. It worked. It felt like a watercolor to me in that washback. It is a little more opaque than some watercolors that I've used, so that's probably why it's sort of that hybrid gouache. I was a little worried because on the back it says use before color dries on palette plate, so I was a little bit worried about putting it in a pan, but I did it anyway and it totally re-wet really easily. There was no problem, so I wouldn't worry about that statement on the back if you're thinking the same thing about making a palette of these. They don't dry like acrylic gouache. They're definitely a water soluble reactivating watercolor gouache. So yeah, I was really impressed by these. It's a beautiful color. I would like to add some more of these to my collection. Okay, so here's all the White Nights paints swatched out. Yeah, I mean, I guess the surprises here, the earth green probably surprised me the most. I think I saw swatches online on this and it was a really sort of subtle light green, and this turned out super deep and rich. Let me see, it's a lot like the Undersea Green from Daniel Smith. I just got a little tiny sample of this guy and they're quite similar. I think the granulation is a little deeper in this White Nights one. But yeah, I think you could wash it back and make a really nice subtle green, but I thought it was going to be a lot lighter. I'm not disappointed, but just different to what I thought. And this Marengo, I had the impression that it was also a lot less pigmented. This is super rich, seems quite opaque, sort of like a pastel color. So it's like a sort of medium bluish gray, which is beautiful. The mint, super vibrant, really neon almost on paper. I don't think it translates on the video here as much, but gorgeous bright green color. The dunes is kind of like a mix of titanium buff and sepia. I have actually been kind of mixing a color like this together, so this is going to be nice and convenient for me to use that. Again, the Azure blue is this beautiful tealish underwater color, and it's much more vibrant, I think, on paper than it is on screen. It looks a little sort of dull blue here, but believe me, it's this beautiful rich turquoise. And then the Perylene violet, again, this laid down really vibrant when it was wet, and it dries down a lot less vibrant. So I really like it. It's a nice sort of deep aubergine color. So yeah, really gorgeous colors. Okay, so here's the two new Winsor Newton swatches. I just put it on the same swatch sheet as some other Winsor Newton ones that I was swatching that were already in my collection, but these are the two new ones from Jackson's. Yeah, that Caput Mortuum Violet is so rich and delightful. It's very brown toned. It's sort of like a deep maroon color. Yeah, it's really nice, and the washback is quite subtle, sort of a bit more brown than I thought. I thought it would have a bit more of a violet highlight in there, but it's really lovely. I'm actually interested to see the regular Caput Mortuum. I guess it's less purple, so more of a brown color, but that would be nice to get in the future just so I could have that as well. And the Indian Red is lovely. It's not as rich as I thought it would be. Even in the mass tone, it feels a little bit watered back, but maybe I just didn't do a rich enough coat in there. Okay, so here's all the Roman Smalls swatches. Let's just take a moment to look at this amazing color. It is so beautiful. So this one is the unpronounceable grey, or Prisby's grey, or however you say it. And you can see in the mass tone, it's not super exciting. It's just a beautiful sort of purpley grey. But then when you do the washback here, it just granulates into these gorgeous layers of grey and almost green with a violet outline. Really beautiful, super exciting color, kind of like Daniel Smith's Moonglow, I think, just a little bit like that. And then this Paynes grey. This Paynes grey is really unusual. To me, it looks a little sort of green toned. Let me grab my other, let's grab the Winsor Newton one here and look at them next to each other. Yeah, so this Winsor Newton one is a really sort of neutral, cool, blue toned kind of grey there, but this one here, the Roman Smalls, I feel like it's more in the green toned. So that's going to be really interesting to use. I want to try that out and see what application, maybe like a deep sea kind of scene or a forest night scene. That would be really cool. And then look at this mineral violet. It's insane. It's so rich. In the mass tone, you can get some really dark violets in there. That would be gorgeous for like a night sky, I think, or like even a space, like a space sky. It'd be really cool. And then the washback here, you can see it really separates into sort of quite a vibrant blue and then a violet outline there, and you can kind of see some purpley pinky colors, so multi-dimensional, really lovely color. And then the deep English red, or the English red deep, is just a super rich sort of brownish red. I thought it might be a little redder, but it's definitely sort of into that ochreish brown arena more than like a really fire red. But that's really lovely. I like, so all these four colors are gorgeous. I really kind of wish I had bought a bunch more, but maybe next time, because they're really impressive. Yeah. So So here are the 3 Schmincke colours swatched out. I apologise for not having the footage of me swatching them. I thought the camera was on, but they weren't. So you can just see the end product here, and look at that Viridian. I mean, I knew I wanted this colour. It's just so beautiful, and the granulation, super subtle, and the washback, it's such a delicate but vibrant colour. It's so interesting, the balance on that one. And the Perylene green is beautiful. I can imagine this for maybe some water scene, like underwater scenes, or it's sort of in the background. I was thinking maybe of doing this photo that I saw with a really deep, rich background, and I think in the forest. And so I think this would be a really good color for that. So I'm excited to try that out. And then the Quin Gold is gorgeous. I actually got a little sample of the Azure yellow from Daniel Smith, and that's what made me want to get the Quinacridone Gold, because I think Azure yellow is a combination of Quinacridone Gold. So you can see with these two here, the Azure yellow I think must have some green in it or something, because it's quite a vibrant color there, whereas the Quin Gold's much more subtle. And I really wanted just to try just a really nice pure gold here, so I'm excited to have that. And yeah, these 3 colors actually go lovely together as well. Okay, so here's the swatches of the 2 new Neo colors. I just put it on the same swatching paper as the salmon one that I had. That's the only other Caran d'Ache Neo color I own. And it's nice to see them compared next to each other, the salmon and the salmon rose. They're actually really different. The salmon rose is very pink toned, whereas the salmon is way more orange toned. So I'm glad I have both of those. They're very different. I was worried they'd be really similar. And then this gorgeous turquoise blue, really lovely. They re-wet really easily, so I did, you know, just the swatch up here, and then I put a half swatch here of solid color, and then just sort of spread it across, and they really do dissolve. You can see I didn't dissolve this very much here, but this one really spread across. It does leave some little lines where it sort of soaks into the paper before you wet it, so just something, it doesn't kind of dissolve completely. But yeah, I really like these. They're so creamy and nice to work with. Yeah, they're beautiful. Here is the swatches of the 2 new pencils that I got. So this one here is the Caran d'Ache Granite Rose, and it's a super subtle sort of beige kind of Caucasian skin color here. A little bit of like buff titanium toned to it, and pink. I mean, you can see up here with these sort of salmony orange pink colors, it's definitely more in the spectrum of sort of a very subtle pinky beige. And then this Stabilo was crazy. It re-wet just like ink. Like you can't see any of the drawing marks here. It re-wet, and then kind of, I just let it bleed into the water here. But it's a really interesting pencil. I'm excited to use that. It really dissolved really fast and was super thick, almost like Indian ink. Well, I think that just about does it for this unboxing and swatching. Thank you so much, guys, for watching through this long video. Hopefully you got some insight into some colours that you might want to purchase for your collection. I hope to be doing some paintings with these soon, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.